March Madness is upon us. It's the best sports postseason ever, hands down. Nobody can contest me on that, unless you want to. I think college basketball is the best playoff system. College football is the worst. I'm here for the debate on the in-between. Tell me about your favorite playoffs in sports.
Is there much of a debate? I certainly think a lot of people are going to say March Madness is up there. I've always grew up a baseball kid. I love getting to October, baseball October. The one caveat I always kind of griped about, you play 162 games, and then it comes down to a 3-game series.
But that's what makes it great,
That's
right?
true. Yeah, that's true. And they've thrown that 1-game playoff now as well, which you know.
Use the pitchers differently. I love baseball. Hockey to me is great. You can get
That's
double
what- that's
overtime,
what I
triple
think.
overtime. These guys are playing.
And the intensity of playoff hockey is on another level.
Upsets similar to March Madness. I would not say on the level of March Madness. Certainly less people care about it, but it is spectacular.
And I would argue that NBA, the other basketball playoffs, I think are toward the bottom of the list because you've got so many lopsided first and second round matchups, and really those playoffs are more about legacies, like dynasties sort of just year after year.
Yeah, a lot of chalk.
Defeating their competition, which is compelling, but it's not as dramatic on a game-by-game basis like March Madness is or NHL playoffs are. Where does the NFL stand in this?
I think below all of them, honestly.
Really?
I mean, I don't dislike the NFL playoffs. I love playoffs, right? So they're all good, right? But I would say that the NFL doesn't have the appeal of, I think, some of the most interesting basketball stuff that happens in the NBA, even with the dynasty problem. But also, I don't think you ramp up in intensity during the playoffs. I think of it because the NFL is so clinical and sterile as an organization that the NFL playoffs just aren't as exciting. To me, I think hockey is the best, especially if you compare it to the regular season product.
Yep,
sure.
I think hockey is phenomenal in terms of their playoffs. The NFL playoffs are kind of an extension of the season, and you can have some wonky stuff. I mean, you don't have the Giants, the Ravens making their runs to the Super Bowl without wonky stuff happening. But honestly, it's exciting. I don't think it's as exciting as hockey or as intense as hockey. I don't think it creates as much of an atmosphere as baseball does.
Strategy doesn't change like baseball.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I just think that the NFL playoff is good, but it's not great.
Sure. Well, you only have 11 games in the NFL playoffs, too, and if, let's say, 7 of them are decided by 10 or more points, well, that's 2/3 of your playoffs were duds, whereas you've got hundreds of hockey and basketball games in those playoffs, which at least generate more chances at drama.
Arif didn't like the Minnesota Miracle, and that's why he doesn't like the NFL playoffs. That's exactly it.
I do dislike emotion.
He wishes he could feel it. It really burns him. It's a Zone Coverage Football Machine video exclusive. Check us out on iTunes and subscribe to the channel. Just click the button.